Hello guys, welcome back to today's stream. Well, not welcome back to today's stream, but the stream we do every single day. It's a beautiful Friday, around about 4:20 here in Dubai. AJ, how is everything with you, my friend?
Yes, yeah, really good actually. Looking at the charts, the charts are looking, better than they did yesterday. I think we can both agree on that, which is good news. We're going to be looking at the DXY as well, which is getting a bit of a rejection, which I quite like to see.
What's interesting though is we've been speaking about this for about a week
Yeah,
now, where we've seen the DXY be at the moment, or it was previously, a couple of hours ago, it was like a 20-year high, which is
yeah,
pretty crazy.
crazy.
And
Yeah,
obviously, we've been waiting for that bit of bullish Bitcoin, should we say, move to the upside as a result of the weakness in the dollar.
yeah,
So we've got that. We've also got a little bit of news on Cardano because there's some big news coming out. They will be having a hard fork, so we'll go through some of that. And then we're finally going to finish on our good old friend Kwon because he's in some more trouble yet again. But let's start
Naughty
off.
Kwon.
Yeah, I know. It's such a disaster. It
Yeah.
always gets more and more convoluted every day. But let's start with some technicals. AJ, we're going to bring up your stream here.
Yes. Yeah, so starting off with, the DXY versus the Bitcoin chart. And, as Ben said, we've been talking about this for a while now because we have this very, very strong resistance on the DXY, which is the top chart. You can see this orange resistance level here is acting as very, very, very strong resistance. We have had, a slight break above that resistance, but the good news that I am, noticing right now on this chart is this little rejection that we are seeing right now. We have 10 hours left of this weekly candle. So hopefully we can, close this weekly candle in the red as it is now, having that slight rejection. For a confirmed rejection, I would like to see a red candle get rejected at this resistance level, break below this orange box. But as of right now, this is, sort of one confirmation that we might see that rejection of the resistance. And, in the past, when we've seen these rejections at the resistance, we have seen mega moves for Bitcoin. You cannot deny that at all. The charts are just showing you this here. Back in January 2017, when we were down at approximately $700, we pumped all the way up to approximately 20,000. Back again in March 2020, when we were sat at around $5,000, we pumped all the way up to $65,000 when we saw that rejection from the resistance on the DXY chart. So hopefully, we can see that rejection again on the DXY, and we can see that mega pump in the Bitcoin charts. We do, however, have to always factor in the bearish scenario. If we get a break above and we stay above this resistance level here, we could see more downside towards Bitcoin. And for that, I just want to show you this other chart here. Yes, so here I am looking at this major level of support, this blue box here, which we have been holding for a while. And I have in previous shows been telling you that I do anticipate that we are going to be consolidating around this area for the next, few days, the next few weeks. And we have been doing so. We've been holding the support, we've been consolidating. Back here, you can see how many times we have found support along this level, and we have seen bounces off this level. So that's what I'm expecting from this point. But then again, we do, need to see that rejection from the resistance on the DXY for that to happen. But, we always have to counter, we always have to think about the bearish scenario as well. There is a possibility that we can break this. We can break this support here. And that brings me on to this chart here, which I showed you in yesterday's show, which was my worst case scenario, which my bottom is the $22,000 level. Only if we were to break this support level here. We've seen this we've seen Bitcoin find a bottom along this 200 MA, which is this blue line along here, multiple times in the past. Back in 2015, when we saw the price of Bitcoin pull back. We found perfect support along this 200 MA. Again, back in 2018, when we saw that bear market, we saw that pullback. We found perfect support along here. And again in 2019, 2020, when we saw that pullback, the COVID dump as well, we found perfect support along this area. We have had small wicks, fairly big wicks below this 200 MA, but we are holding the candle closes above this 200 MA, which is great news. So if we do break this support here, then I am expecting us to come all the way down to that $22,000 level, and I expect that to be the bottom. We may come a little bit lower. We may get a wick down to 20,000. That is a possibility. But I do think the bottom is going to be around 22,000. And as me and Ben said in the previous show, we are going to be dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin if we do break down below this blue support level here. We're going to be dollar cost averaging all the way down to that approximately $22,000 level, and just a little bit lower than that down to the $20,000 level.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you've hit the nail on the head there. Can't really add much to that, apart from just bringing us back. That's obviously the kind of the bearish case. If there is a bullish case, we've just seen with the dollar, so the weakness in the dollar. This is something where I kind of try and pay attention to what the Fed is saying, what the general traditional markets, if they do give us some type of guidance. Technically, it does look like we are quite bearish, I think. Yeah. But looking at the external factors, such as Fed rate hikes, the general market, such as the QQQ, which is like the NASDAQ, and then also the S&P 500, it seems as though the markets are now pricing in the rate hikes and they're staying at these slightly lower levels, which would give us some indication that, in fact, the markets are now ready to move a little bit higher. And that will be less people, kind of having their money in dollars. And that would bring weakness to the dollar, especially as these rate hikes are continued to be rolled out throughout the year. I believe that is quite a good scenario to have a bit of weakness in the dollar, and then that naturally, as you said perfectly, AJ, there would give us a bit of an upward momentum in the price of Bitcoin. So I just wanted to add that in there, and then beyond there, the next kind of key piece of news that I guess we want to talk about is Cardano.
Yeah,
Cardano, good old friend Cardano.
Some exciting news coming up.
It is. So the reason why I wanted to show you this is CoinMarketCal. It's a very nice calendar. I recommend you use it just to see what's going on with the major coins, even the ones that are not so major. But it gives you like a nice calendar as to what's happening when, so you can see through here. We obviously have the Ethereum conference in July. We also have the Vasil hard fork for Cardano on the 30th of June. So that's just over a month away. Now, one thing you're going to notice is that there's often quite a pump before. It's because all of the investors who know about this assume that everybody's going to, once it hits the front page, everyone's going to want to get in. And that's when everyone's getting in, you want to take your liquidity out because it could top and then, just immediately dump. But what is a hard fork? Some of you guys may know, some of you guys might not. And so this is just a very simple explanation for those of you who are not quite sure. Now, a hard fork, so it relates to a Bitcoin technology. It's a radical change to the network's protocol that makes previously invalid blocks and transactions valid, or vice versa. It requires all nodes, all users to upgrade to the latest version of the protocol software. Just think of it very similarly to, and this is not quite exactly right, but how everyone moves from Microsoft 95 onto Microsoft, I don't know, what version are you on now? Like Windows 11 or something like this? Whatever the whatever
13, I don't know.
but we're closing off Windows 95 and we're kind of migrating everything onto Windows 13. So it's very much just a complete change in the overall way in which a blockchain would work. So that is what a hard fork is. Now I want to just go through a couple of articles, what to expect from the hard fork. So the Vasil hard fork upgrade will massively improve the network's scalability and performance. Now they do also have other projects such as Hydra L2, which is a layer 2 scaling solution. We have DGED, the stable coin that they're bringing out as well. And we all know that Charles Hoskinson is extremely bullish on Cardano. Obviously, we did mention that, I think it was in our show a couple of days ago, AJ. We were mentioning about, was it Ethiopia? They're currently working with the founders of Cardano, IOHK, to actually develop a education record management system so that everyone can have like their education recorded, because in certain countries like Ethiopia and those other in Africa, it's quite hard to document records because there's not one centralized place in order to do so. And so lots of them are on paper, and if you lose the paper, it's really hard to prove that you actually have the education that you say you do. But there's quite a good thread from one of the developers. So basically what he is saying is this. Okay, so here you have a reference scripts that are attached to the outputs. Now this is when it goes onto the chain. Now when it goes onto the chain, it means that you can actually reference, here is it, yes. So making a transaction bigger, the larger transactions result in higher fees and decreased throughput. So slow transactions, expensive transactions. Think about Ethereum. I think this is kind of what Cardano really wants to do, is just knock Ethereum off of the throne, as does pretty much everybody. Now coming down here, the main point here is the Plutus scripts don't get submitted on chain until you interact with them. So every single time when you want to use a decentralized app, you have to include the whole script as part of a transaction. Now with Plutus, what they're saying is, yes, it's, the work is done, but the chain isn't big and bulky and expensive because you don't actually interact with that. You don't process the payments, the block size until you actually interact with that. So that's the overall, the overall conclusion as to what they're trying to do. Now, I'm not a developer, but making a chain much faster and cheaper and actually putting less information onto the chain is obviously going to be a very good idea. That's exactly what layer 2 scaling solutions do when they condense a whole load of data, and then they have, is it Loopring? Loopring do that, don't they? Well, they have I think there's around about 100 different transactions, and they squash them into one, and they put that one onto Ethereum. So you're only processing one transaction, but actually there's 100 that's going in. Now, this is part of the overall Cardano roadmap. As you see here, we have Byron, Shelley, Gauguin, Bashu, and Voltaire. Now, we are still in the Gauguin era, but what I do want to show you is, obviously, when we have the Byron, there's going to be a pump. When we have Shelley, there's going to be a pump. With Gauguin, a pump. And I'm assuming with Bashu, a pump, and Voltaire, a pump, because this just shows that there's a big use case, and there's going to be more users, and therefore more people buying Cardano. More people buying Cardano. What does it mean? It means that there's more demand. It means there's less supply. It means the price goes up, and our bags get quite big. Is really what we want to look at. But AJ, we've got your screen here, where you actually highlighted.
Yeah, so this is the Cardano chart zoomed out on the weekly chart. So I know ADA is down, we know it, but as much of the crypto market is, it is down as well. So it is understandable that Cardano is down at the moment, but the fundamentals of Cardano are not down. They're stronger than ever, because Cardano, the IOHK team and the community is continuously building and growing from a fundamental technical way, and it's proven itself over time that it's a secure, scalable, and decentralized protocol. Even before we enter this Vassal hard fork, and even this scalable era, which is Basho, which we are about to enter. So how has this reacted before? So you can see here when Cardano was launched, we saw a very, very good upwards momentum in the price of Cardano, which took us all the way to 2018. Unfortunately, we had that 2018 bear market, which pulled the price back pretty significantly, but that's understandable. A lot of altcoins took the hit, and Bitcoin took the hit as well. So this is understandable. But when Shelly was launched, so let's just have a look at that. That's Cardano launched Shelly. That was back in July, the 29th of July. So coming up to that, we saw a nice rise in the price, and after the launch, again we saw a nice rise in price. So the market, it benefited off this launch, and again, with the Mary hard fork enabling tokens and NFTs, which was on March the 1st. Again, coming up to this period, we had nice momentum to the upside, and after this launch, we had more bullish momentum to the upside. Then we had
I think this is like a perfect keep going. It's a perfect description of, or like visualization of, the actual event might happen on March the 1st or March whenever, but you're gonna have a small pump before. I think that's what we're seeing here is in anticipation. You get a lot of these, I guess people accumulating, and then when the event does happen, usually they are the ones taking profit, and that's why we see that small pullback just a couple of days afterwards, and then obviously everyone's like excited again. The buying pressure is still extremely heavy, and also look at that volume on your chart there. Where Mary is.
You can see a lot of volume, and we are getting a bit of volume during this, coming up to this Vasil launch. So, we could see. Hopefully, I'll get onto it in a moment, but hopefully, we can see a bottom for, a bottom in the whole crypto market for us to see more upside here. But going back to what I was talking about then, the Alonzo as well. When that hard fork was released, that was on the September the 13th. Coming up to that, we had nice momentum to the upside. Unfortunately, that's where the market sort of found a top, and ever since then we have been coming back. And because the market is so bearish at the moment, we aren't seeing that buying pressure I would like to see. We've had a bit of volume, not too much, during this for this Vasil fork, hard fork, but we aren't seeing the upwards momentum I would like to see, but that is understandable, as I said, because we are so bearish at the moment. So hopefully, we are waiting for that market bottom. We are waiting for the market to bottom out. And if we can bottom out, going back to Bitcoin, if we can bottom out here, and this is the bottom for Bitcoin, and we can see more upside, then without a doubt, I do expect to see, after this Vasil hard fork, I do expect to see more momentum to the upside for Cardano. But again, we need to see the market bottom out. And I just wanted to show everyone this tweet over here from West Crypto, just to let you know that this is their website, and they, they're out here to impart. And this is what they say: they're here to empower millions of investors with ratings, research, and newsletters that provide the highest accuracy and the best safety and the most profitable investment guidance. So this tweet isn't coming from just any random person. This is a very well-established company who are saying this, and I think this is great news for Cardano with what they are saying here. So basically, what they are saying is Cardano, is in a very extremely competitive market, and that's without a doubt, because we already have Ethereum, and as I said, Ethereum works really well. We can't deny that. Ethereum is the leader in this area of the crypto market, and they were released in late 2017, and that was sort of a tough time for Cardano to be released, because that was just sort of at the start of that 2018 bear market.
When you're at the top, it's hard to go up, isn't it?
If
the whole market's going down, I think that's why we saw after that immediate pump in the chart, kind of goes down. But sorry, carry on.
And they endured that crypto winter. But basically, what they are saying here, is that the founder and the developers show remarkable resilience and commitment in spite of the market environment where most projects collapse into the dust. Sorry. So, they're not disappearing. Cardano is here to stay, I believe. I don't know what your thinking is on that, Ben, but I think they are here to stay. I think the team behind it, are here to stay and here to continue building on Cardano.
No, I agree with you. And to be honest, Cardano was my first kind of passion project in crypto. It was one that I kind of immediately fell in love with, and kind of just seeing, because obviously the quality of the team behind it, Charles Hoskinson, he was actually part of one of the original guys that started Ethereum, but there was disagreements internally as to how it should be done. From what I've seen online, from the way he speaks, or I generally think that he's looking to prepare in order to scale massively. Whereas Ethereum, they started and they have that first mover advantage, but they're then trying to keep themselves ahead by innovating one step at a time, as opposed to stopping, making sure they've built the right ecosystem and then going live. I'm not going to say that the Cardano ecosystem is better than Ethereum, although I would be interested. Let me know down in the comments.
Yeah, let us know below.
But obviously Ethereum it's got a bigger developer pool. It's got more resources. But I think when we have a longer term vision, I'm pretty confident that the team behind Cardano will be able to see a nice bit of movement in terms of the adoption, and then obviously with that adoption comes the uptick in the price of Cardano itself.
Yeah, and then that 2018, bear market, we did see lots of downwards momentum for Cardano, but they became this is what Wes Crypto have said, they became one of the best performing assets when the next crypto bull rolled around, and you can see that as well from the bottom here all the way to the top. They increased 11,500%.
Yeah,
crazy. So this is coming from Wes Crypto. I think they're here to praise. They said that they're here to praise Cardano, and I think that's quite big coming from them.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I absolutely agree. And what I will do now is we're going to finish up quite quickly, but I want to add on just two other bits of news, just as general kind of, probably should know about these. So that's why we're going to bring it to you. Firstly, the G7 financial officials call on the FSB, the Financial Stability Board, to step up crypto regulation. Now, obviously, this is in the wake of the Terra Luna, the UST collapse. Good old Mr. Do Kwon sorted us right out there. Thanks for the bear market and the lack of confidence in DeFi. But the G7 is essentially some of the top economies in the world. Not the top 7, but some of Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, UK, and US. They have met in Germany, and in light of the recent turmoil in the crypto asset market, the G7 urges the FSB to advance the swift developments and implementation of consistent and comprehensive regulation. Now, which I think is very good. We already know that countries like Germany, they have a number of different ETFs who are looking to be regulated. The UK are looking to regulate stable coins. Canada already have a Bitcoin ETF. And so this collective, bringing everybody together might help the people who are dragging their feet, i.e. the US and potentially Japan. But I haven't really heard too much news about Japan, Italy, or France. I mean, France, actually, they're quite welcoming to Binance. But I know the United States are, the SEC, they're worried about it, but they're not really doing too much. So I'm hoping that with the FSB, this stability board, it will kind of bring them together on a slightly higher level than just you looking after your own country. It's, us as a G7, this is how we continue to stay ahead as in the global economy. That's what I'm kind of hoping for there, to have like a collective push. And like I said, if we get clarity in the financial markets, the crypto markets, I should say, like we have in the financial markets, more people will be able to invest because more people are not going to be scared that they're going to get rug pulled on a massive scale, such as UST. Which brings me on, quite appropriately, talking about rug pulls, to court documents that reveal that Kwon dissolved Terraformer Labs in Korea days before the crash. Now, I'm not going to say exactly what this looks like. AJ, if you had a company and you liquidated your company and then took all the money out and 2 days later it crashed, what would that look like?
A rug pull.
Yeah. a rug pull. Absolutely a rug pull. Yeah, I don't know. You know, it's like as you see here, it's referred to as the Lehman Brothers of crypto. South Korea are after Kwon quite hard, which I think is actually a really good thing. But yeah, they came out with this. They had a proposal, shut down. 90% said no. Now an amendment, and I'm pretty sure that's also a no. But anyway, I just wanted to bring you those little bits of information because it's a dodgy world. It's a dodgy world out there in crypto.
I mean, tough times for some people out there as well.
It is.
I'm sure a lot of people got affected by that, and
I do feel bad, for especially people who they YOLO their savings in, or like it genuinely is a severe problem that someone can just affect so many people like that, and it is an unregulated. I think that's one thing people don't quite realize is that there is essentially no protection in crypto. We see the stock market, we see the forex market, we think maybe it's kind of the same, but it's just really not. Like you could do a rug pull easy, which is a shame. It's horrible to see that, but hopefully we can clear up the industry soon. Like I said, I think this will probably deter, especially South Korea going after Kwon so hard. I think that will probably deter some people from wanting to scam. And then if we get a little bit more regulation, less scammers, and then more genuine investors and developers in the space, and I think that's going to be what will be really, really good for crypto.
Definitely, yeah. And could I just share my screen again? I've just seen someone wants to see short-term price for ARDA. And, I drew this, I showed this in a previous live stream, I think it was. And, I drew this back around December 2021 and January 2022. And it has been respecting this downwards channel that I drew back then. Let me just get my pen. You can see before I drew that, we did, test this twice as resistance, and we tested it a few times as support, as you can see there. And then after I drew this, we did test it as resistance again, seeing a rejection. We did, consolidate in sort of the middle area of this falling channel. And then we did actually break to the upside of this channel. I was going to act off the breakout of this. However, I just didn't see the volume that I would quite like to see for me to, have that confirmation that we're going to see more upside. So I didn't act on this because there was no volume, and that was the right thing to do because, we just traded sideways for about a week and a half, 2 weeks. And then, we just saw the price absolutely crash. And we are still respecting this. So short-term price target for Cardano, I'm expecting it to sort of hold this area only if we can find that bottom on the Bitcoin chart. The whole market really relies on what Bitcoin's doing right now. If we hold that support, yes, I think, we can hold that support and we can get that bounce. Then yes, I think, the alts will slowly follow it. I don't think we'll have an alt season just yet, but I think we'll slowly follow it. But I do have a price target still for this falling channel because we are still above it. So my sort of short-term price target is $1.30, only if Bitcoin can hold this support and bounce off it. If we were to break that support,
if Bitcoin goes down to, let's say 22.
I expect us to come and retest this support previous resistance. I expect us to come and test that. If we break below it, then I'm expecting to come back down to this blue dotted line here in the middle of the channel and potentially, trade along there until, we see some more bullish news for Bitcoin. So if we were to, I would expect, around that 0.08 cents level, if we were to break this support here. But as of right now, hopefully we can continue to hold this support and come up to this $1.30 target. But as I said, we could come and test this support again, hopefully bounce off it. Because we have respected it so much in the past, I think that we are going to continue to hold this level. I don't expect us to break below this level. If we do, as I said, we'll probably trade along this blue dotted line here. But I'm expecting us to hold this support.
Fantastic. There we go. There you go. CDEG 72. That was the guy who asked for the
CDG72. I don't know how you would say
no, but we like it.
Yeah,
guys, just for those of you who are watching, it's actually really good to have you guys comment and just ask us random questions.
And let me know what TA you want me to do. It's a little bit hard to do TA on some altcoins at the moment because all of my support levels have been broken, because the market is so bearish at the moment. So it's a little bit hard. When the market starts to stabilize a little bit, that's where the technical analysis really starts to shine. But as of right now, the TA is a little bit because the market is so bearish at the moment. But yeah, please put below any altcoins that you want me to do some TA on, and I'll be sure to do that for you.
Yes, and as always, thank you guys for watching, and we will see you tomorrow.
Peace.
Take care, guys.